And tonight on our program, Institute of Economic Affairs calls for comprehensive debt management strategy to ease Ghana's debt service burden.
In fact, it is not the debt stock itself that should be seen as a problem. The stock, in other words, whether it's 4 billion, because you are not going to pay all of it today. Some have longer maturities.
President of African Investment Group, Dr. Sam Ankra, proposes privatization of COVID-19 vaccines purchase to deal with supply challenges here in Ghana.
When government gives opportunity for these multinationals to use their contacts and influence to go out there to procure for the employers and procure some for CR purposes, I believe is the right direction.
And government commits to completing all abandoned affordable housing projects before the end of its second term in 2024.
The government intends to embark on an affordable housing program aimed at facilitating the construction of more housing units across the country over the next 4 years.
Welcome once again. This is Business Live. My name is Darryl Kwa. We'll have the details in a moment. Well, first up tonight, the Institute of Economic Affairs is calling for a comprehensive debt management strategy to help ease the country's debt service burden. The country's debt levels have surpassed the dreaded 70% debt to gross domestic product ratio mark, a situation which has compelled the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank to classify Ghana as a highly debt-distressed country. It presently spends 56% of tax revenue to settle interest payment. Now, Dr. John Kwache is the Director of Research at the IEA. He says Ghana's debt may remain above the threshold for several years to come.
December, at the end of 2016, the debt level was 122.2 or 56.8% of GDP. He said that's what we inherited. That's what they inherited. And as of June, they have taken us to 334.6 billion or 77.1% of GDP. So the opposition will subtract the two figures and say, this is what you have added on. And it is a fact. The IMF, in the last Article 4 consultation with Ghana, they've released a report. They described Ghana as having a high risk of debt distress. That's the exact words they used. Ghana is facing a high risk of debt distress. But then they also added that they think the debt profile is manageable. But what I want you to understand is that, in fact, it is not the debt stock itself that should be seen as a problem. The stock, in other words, whether it's 4 billion, because you are not going to pay all of it today. Some have longer maturities because they issued euro bonds and so on. Some even have 30-year maturities. Exactly. So that debt stock, it will wait for you people, the future generations.
Well, in other news, President of the African Investment Group, Dr. Sam Ankra, is proposing the privatization of COVID-19 vaccines purchase to deal with current challenges with supply. Now, Dr. Ankra spoke to Joy Business at the inauguration of Fellows of the Institute of Chartered Economists.
The event brought together members of the Institute of Chartered Economists, the public, and some captains of the business community. It also afforded the Institute an opportunity to induct some chartered economists and also the new fellow, that is Dr. Sam Ankra, who is president of the African Investment Group. In his address after being inducted as fellow of the Institute, Dr. Sam Ankra noted that economics is about people and everything must be done to ensure that the livelihood of the people are affected and improved.
One of my favorite quotes in economics states, and I quote, "Economic growth without people is meaningless. What is gross domestic product at 7% when unemployment is so high? What is the value of high GDP rate when we cannot find money to pay for fertilizers and other farm inputs to make foodstuff affordable? Inflation, which at the height of the pandemic hovered around 11.8%, dropped to 7.5% in May 2021 before inching up slightly to 7.8% in June. Beautiful numbers, isn't it? But if it's so, why are we hearing that a bowl of cake, for instance, has shot up by more than 100%, and other food items are also rising in prices at the average of 80%? This tells you that we like numbers which do not reflect the ground to make the ordinary man feel it.
He also explained why in his address he called for the privatization of COVID-19 vaccine purchase and importation.
We've been told that government is finding it very difficult to break through the politics around the vaccines. And we also know most of these multinationals are linked. There's a lot of connections and partnerships with these institutions that fund even the producing of these vaccines. So when government gives the opportunity for these multinationals to use their contacts and influence to go out there to procure for the employers and procure some for CR purposes, I believe is the right direction. And if we're able to promote that properly, it will reduce the amount of money that we need to invest in getting these vaccines. And we're going to get them because, like I said, businessmen knows how to navigate the business world to get these things to us.
Dr. Ankra also maintained that government must look at supporting more small businesses in the country to aid the ongoing economic recovery.
Now, government has reiterated its commitment to complete all abandoned affordable housing projects before the end of its second term in 2024. Through the National Housing and Mortgage Funding, it also intends to leverage the pension fund for financing support by reviewing the Pensions Act. The Deputy Minister of Works and Housing, Abdullahi Abanga, was speaking at a housing event at the National Theatre here in Accra.
Vision of the government for the housing sector is to use appropriate mix of public and private sector investment to deliver quality, safe, affordable housing solutions that meet the needs and the financial capacity of the ordinary Ghanaian. Accordingly, government has resolved to complete all existing abandoned projects within the short term while implementing long-term strategies that will ultimately increase access to adequate, safe, secure, and affordable housing options for the low to middle income groups in the country. Additionally, the government intends to embark on an affordable housing program aimed at facilitating the construction of more housing units across the country over the next 4 years. Adequate steps have already been taken by our ministry to engage with key stakeholders within the sector to find innovative ways of creating the needed platform to attract the private sector to participate in our affordable housing delivery agenda. So ultimately, with the right mortgage arrangement being piloted jointly by the Ministry of Finance and the Works and Housing under the National Housing and Mortgage Fund, banks can leverage on a credible mortgage system to provide long-term mortgage financing for prospective home buyers. This certainly is one of the surest ways to secure long-term and sustainable financing for the low to medium income earners.
You're watching Business Live. Still to come, the Joy Business Van will tell you about Ignite Investment, the startup taking packaging of coconut fruits to a whole new level. That story coming up after this break. Well, time to bring you tonight's story. The global coconut market is estimated to reach $31.1 billion by 2026. Last year, Ghana was ranked 16th with a share in export of 1.36%. Ignite Investment is one of the businesses taking advantage of this market, and the startup is doing it in an innovative way. It has taken packaging of the coconut fruits to a whole new level, and co-founder Jeffrey Osebonsu shows us on today's episode of the Joy Business Van.
Dozens of peeled coconut fruits on display, branded Ignite Cocoa, with two circles on one edge of the shells, a smaller one and a bigger one. Nope, this is not a decorative piece, it is for consumption. Ghanaians love coconuts. It is easy to find salesmen pack the fruits in their wheelbarrows at street corners, ready to peel with their cutlasses for those who purchase. This was what caught the attention of Jeffrey Osebonsu, co-founder of Ignite Investment.
I was just thinking of how we can make it innovative, make it easy, and then how I can solve people's problems, because when I see people using cutlass and stuff on the road, I was looking at how we can make it simple. So we tried some pilot, and then here we are.
What exactly did he try? This, using an automatic coconut peeling machine. After peeling, it is polished, and then the coconut engraving machine marks the circles. Makes it easy to crack open the fruit. Jeffrey says he studied this from India, which is the third largest coconut producing country in the world, with an annual production of more than 21,500 million tons of nuts. When Jeffrey started to pilot production, his target was the export market.
The main target was Dubai and China. Yes, we tried pilot basis last year. We tried containers to both countries to see the shipping because it's going to take like 30 days. We wanted to see if it's going to survive because these are perishable goods. So we tried with 2 containers and both of them survived. So afterwards, we had to sign off-taker with a couple of companies in there. So hopefully, God willing, first cut off next year, we're hoping to start commercial production on the export market.
So this is what the final product actually looks like. So it's got the brand Ignite Cocoa with the contact number of the producers on it. The coolest way of taking coconuts now, I guess. So how do people get to taste the coconut water? I see that there's some small hole engraved on the coconut. So what they do?
Okay, basically this is where if you want to take the coconut, you can just press it hard and it goes in, just like yours. Yeah, just press it hard, it goes in. Afterwards,
afterwards then
you take it. You can just use a straw.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that's it. Yeah.
That's simple. Yeah. So after this, you can actually...
Yes, after this, you can actually go deep by taking this off. And then you can use any spoon to just scoop the meat in there. And then you can enjoy your coconut.
Wow, that's so cool.
This innovation has made it easier to consume the coconut fruit. And for easy handling, gas is the reason it is doing well on the export market. Now that the pilot is done, Jeffrey says they will increase the quantity exported.
We are going to start with 4 containers every month, but as time goes on, we're hoping to increase. We're still talking to financial houses like the Exim Bank, of which they want to put us on the 1 district, 1 factory. So we work around the Benzema area. So we're looking at setting up a 4,000 square meter processing plant, of which we're going to do the oil. That's our oil. This oil, you can use it for makeup cleaning, for your skin, for hair, and then this is for cooking. This are virgin cold pressed. It comes with no heat, and they're organic. Yeah, it comes with no heat applied to it. This is good for your health.
There's so much Jeffrey and his team are planning to do with coconuts. As of 2017, total annual production of coconuts stood at 229 million pieces. Yet, the potential of the sector is untapped, with much of the fruits consumed domestically. Now, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority is targeting revenue of $2.8 billion by 2021 from the export of coconuts. Ignite Investment currently sources all of its coconuts from the western region of Ghana. The coconut startup wants to start its own farms too.
So far, for our first 2 years, we are secured because we've leased lands and we have our farms. We're hoping to expand by bringing on board outgrowers and driving most of the youth who really want to focus in agriculture, because we're working on a hybrid nursery plant around the western region. So hopefully we'll be producing about 700,000 seedlings per annum every year, and that's what we're looking at. And then we want Ghana to go green with coconuts.
Meanwhile, Ignite Investment has just started to market their coconut food locally. A piece of Ignite cocoa goes for 2 cedis, that's like 37 cents. And Jeffrey is looking at halving the price in the next 3 years. He has so many other plans for coconut I can't share with you now, but what I can tell you is the future is bright.
I want to be the biggest producers of coconut in the value chain. Like, I want to be one of the biggest companies in it. I want to go global. We can compete with major brands like Coca-Cola and all of that, because these are natural products. There's no chemical with this. This is just natural. So we can compete in such brands.
It's a coconut awakening.
And to conclude tonight, an international business consultant, Ohiniba Kwame Darko, says Ghana is well positioned to rake in a lot from the African Continental Free Trade Agreement through the 1 District, 1 Factory initiative. He's however worried about the foreign cartels in the various countries controlling exports. As part of the solution, Oheneba Kwame Darko is asking governments from different African countries to set aside a special regime for African businesses. He has been speaking to Joy Business's Odelia Ntiamwa.
Trade on the African continent currently stands at about 17%. That's how much Africans trade amongst themselves, while they trade actually a lot with Europe and the rest of the world. Well, perhaps that's why the Continental Free Trade has become so critical now. I'm currently here with someone who's been touring countries in Africa, looking at our readiness and also creating opportunities. He's called Oheneba. Oheneba, tell us exactly the countries you have gone to so far. How do you see the Continental Free Trade preparedness for these countries vis-a-vis Ghana as well?
Oh, okay, so basically I have been to the Côte d'Ivoire several times and also Guinea. Côte d'Ivoire started going there since 2017 when I came from France, because I was working as a consultant for Leicester Ghana Limited, so they took me there. So it gave me the opportunity to go there even before AFTA came into place. So I've been trying to deal there, doing some research, primary research, and also business development there. Guinea also this year, I've also been able to go there to also survey the market, meet their trade industry, to also learn and understand the whole trade going there. AFTA, for me, is a very big opportunity. As it has been said, everybody is projecting, because Africa, we have about 1.2 billion people. So Europe is like 400 and something people, and they are making a lot within themselves. So if you're able to project ourselves well, put our products within ourselves, there's a lot of market. A lot of business going to be created for people like the youth, as we are saying. Everybody's talking about employment and all these things. If you're able to take advantage, and especially Ghana, because Ghana, that's our comment, this government for the 1D1F, because for me it's a good initiative, because most of African countries are not industrialized that much. If it's not maybe Nigeria and South Africa, maybe Kenya, Ghana is moving up. And because most of our trade have been with Europe, and most of them were raw materials, sending maybe plantain and pineapple, the industrialization is going to break that gap. Because
the thoughts of Oheneba Kwame Darko, the international business consultant, and in Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. See you same time tomorrow.